You know, I noticed something. Every male character in this movie, Shaliene Woodley had been romantically involved with at least once. Miles Teller she made out with, Ansel Elgort she made out and had sex with him. Now Theo James, they're all in this movie. Shaliene Woodley, stop it. Just stop it. Okay, so the Divergent series, Insurgent. I'm just gonna call it Insurgent, that's way too long of a title. So Insurgent is the sequel to Divergent, and here we see Triss and Four on the run from Kate Winslet's posse. Reminder, she hates Divergence. She goes after Triss because she is one, and she might be a threat to her shitty utopia. And together they must devise a plan that could ultimately take down this society since female President Snow screwed Triss really hard. And then they can change the world, and that's the movie. Now to be honest, I was gonna review Divergent before I saw this movie, but due to a shitty power outage, I haven't been able to do that. The city just knew I was gonna do a review, so they're like, hey, let's mess that up. Really? And because of that, I said, you know what, screw it. But long review short, I thought Divergent was alright. I caught up with the source material, I knew what was going on, and I prepared myself for a potentially awesome sequel. Instead of it being awesome, I just got a sequel to the Divergent series. Now, Shaliene Woodley as the main chick, once again, I thought her character was good, but her acting wasn't good at all. She was like going through post-traumatic stress, and she's seeing her dead mom in her dreams, and I was like, oh cool, just like Katniss Everdeen in Catching Fire. And she like blames herself for it. I thought that was pretty neat. Except Jennifer Lawrence was a way better actress than Miss Woodley because she to this day hasn't done anything that just wowed me. Kinda sucks because she has a huge potential of being a great actress and she hasn't unleashed that yet. And the same thing goes with most of the actors, except Miles Teller. He was awesome. And I blame that on the script and the direction she was given because like I said, it was way worse than Divergence. Most of that came from the romance she and Theo James developed within the course of a couple days. Because if you really think about it, if you put all these movies together, they don't really get romantically involved till like the last 20 minutes of the first one. And the dude is already saying I love you to her? No, I don't buy their shitty romance. We get their forced love interest packed with them going from point A to point B. That's not even interesting. They would spend about 10 to 20 minutes in one location until they're chased out by Jai Courtney and his gang trying to shoot them up. And he was like the coolest part in the movie. He had motivation to go after them, and when he does, you felt the ruthlessness in him. There's a scene where he's chasing them in the forest and he's just taking off after them. And I'm like, yeah, that's awesome. That's what I want to see. And then all of a sudden his crew starts shooting bullets and they have an accuracy of a stormtrooper. I shit you not. Because they have about 50 guys trying to shoot at Theo James in this open range, you know, like in target practice. And they can't even hit him once? Isn't this crew supposed to be like trained badasses? They seriously can't hit these people for shit. It's like unbelievably bad. And you know me guys, I love action movies and Insurgent had some really interesting action sequences. But none of them really had a reason or any sort of drive. I just didn't feel that in the movie. For example, the main group gets on a train filled with pretty messed up strangers and they're all like, hey, can't be in here, we're gonna kick your ass. So they get into this huge brawl, Triss and Four kill at least half of their people, and then Four shouts out his real name and the leader's all like, hey, you know what, we actually been looking for you. Like Four, you couldn't have just said that before you killed half of these dudes' friends? And not just any of his friends, but his mom's friends? It made me say this guy's an asshole, and so is everyone else in the movie. But I do admit the last 15 minutes was enjoyable. The action was just over the top ridiculous, but a part of your brain just turns that logic part off and you're like, sweet. And how the movie ends, it made me say, how are they gonna build off of this the next two movies? Because Insurgent kind of gives a solid conclusion to the series, but they're gonna make 2 more movies? Oh, the horror. So Insurgent had some pretty decent characters. I liked how they handled Triss, even though it kind of copies the Hunger Games. The action really had no point, the romance was really shitty. Jai Courtney was the real villain, and Kate Winslet, she was just behind a desk the whole time trying to open a box. And it turned out to be worse than the first movie. Because I say, if you really want to see Insurgent, just wait till it gets released on Netflix. There's a reason why these series are going to be released in March. That's why. Just getting you warmed up for the Hunger Games. Have you guys seen Insurgent? What did you guys think about it? Whatever your thoughts are, leave a comment below. And as always, there's a link for my Twitter and my Facebook in the description. Keep in contact with me. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button. But in the meantime, I have to get going.